The Philippine Pavilion for the 16th Venice Architecture Biennale is entitled The City Who Had Two Navels. And this was inspired by the novel by the Filipino national artist Nick Joaquin's novel, The Woman Who Had Two Navels, that was published in 1961. And this year's pavilion focuses on the idea of the relationship between the past and the future. And the two navels that I talk about in this exhibition refers to the two forces of, one, colonialism, and second, neoliberalism, and how they shape the built environment and architecture. So for this exhibition, I commissioned a think tank consortium which was composed of 4 architecture schools from the Philippines, a non-governmental organization that's all women-led, and then a artist who is a video installation and filmmaker artist. And so the exhibition focuses on their works as they respond to the two navels of colonialism and neoliberalism. The first navel that I talk about, which focuses on colonialism, is dealing directly with kind of these challenges of, let's say, the Philippines having had Spanish colonial history and then American colonial history. And so the projects, for example, directly grapple those kinds of challenges. It's a love-hate relationship. It's never resolved. And that's also my argument for this pavilion, is that, I'm presenting this notion that we have to be critical of these forces, and that then we sort of have to understand then what are we supposed to do. So I'm also empowering the audience, the visitors, to also think about and be critical about their own histories as well, and also think about they're also being affected by neoliberalism, which are also then currently happening. And these two forces continue to affect the future of not only the Philippines, but also the other parts of the world. My hope that with the Philippine Pavilion for this year's Biennale is that we contribute to the larger conversation about the role of the built environment and architecture as really sort of instruments of change. I see the architecture as showing the possibilities of empowerment and ennobling people. And so my hope is that then the Philippine Pavilion kind of really contributes to this conversation, and that argues that then we have to consider people in looking at and understanding architecture and the built environment. I'm hoping for change, the ability also of architecture to provide some kind of revolution or some kind of transformation. And I see the Philippine Pavilion as this sort of impetus, a change, an instrument of this kind of conversation.